As Pastor Bristol Smith here. Hope everybody's having a great night. I'm sitting outside currently here at the church. It is, I think, about 28 degrees right now. Got some snow falling. Got my big heavy duty jacket on. So I know I look terrible, so just overlook that. I wanted to jump on here. I'm not going to be on here too long. I mainly just wanted to jump on here just for a few minutes, just to say thank you to everyone who has shown me support. I've had a lot of attacks, personally, verbally, on me since my departure from the MAGA crowd. I never thought that it would come to that. I didn't know that I keep getting asked this all the time, and I think this is the main reason I'm doing this video. I've been getting asked so much on threads. Why did it take you to just now to realize what was really going on? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a good answer. I wish I could sit here and give you why it took me so long to come to my senses, I guess you could say, about the whole Trump thing. I have no good answer. I really don't. My spiritual discernment was lacking. Um, I didn't use spiritual discernment. Now, I want you guys to know, for those of you that don't know me, when 2016 came around, the first election, I was not a Christian. I wasn't a preacher. I didn't go to church, any of that. Now, the second time, 2020, I was a Christian. And I was a pastor, and I didn't use discernment then, and I didn't use discernment in 2024. Now, I did do a article in the New York Times, and you can go and look this up. Just look up Pastor Bristol Smith, New York Times, and you'll see it for yourself. But I spoke to the New York Times about possibly not voting for Donald Trump. I was having my doubts back in 2024. But ultimately, I did come around and vote for him. Highly unfortunate, shouldn't have. But, once again, we all have to learn. And, somebody was talking about his comments where he said, grab him by, the rest of the story. And they said, was that not good enough? Ladies and gentlemen, when that came out, I wasn't a Christian then, so I'm not making excuses. It was just it was poor judgment on my part. But I continued to support him, and to be honest with you, folks, I was a shareholder in Truth Social. I not only was a verified user on Truth Social before they had the pay to verify technology, but I also was retruthed by Donald Trump. He actually shared one of my posts on his page. So when I tell you that I was actually in the movement deep, I was. And the fact of the matter is, folks, when the whole Epstein thing came around, somebody said, I think somebody commented on there, what made you vote for him to begin with this last time? Well, here's what did it. He said that he was going to release the Epstein files. He said he was going to do it. And folks, I had no, to be honest with you, I thought he was really going to do it. He had Dan Bongino that was going to be there. He had Kash Patel. He had all of these people who talked big behind the camera. Oh my God, we're going to release all of this. So when he said that he was going to do it, I really had no reason to doubt him, not because of him per se, but because of the people that was in the cabinet and his administration. So I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And then the day came where he actually attacked us because we wanted to see the files, unredacted. We wanted to see the names of the people who actually went to the island and perpetrated these evil acts. When he went to Truth Social, and he attacked us, called us stupid, called us traitors, whatever the case may be. He lost my support right there. Then he turns around and says all of this stuff about Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has been a supporter of his from the very beginning. When everybody else turned their back on him, including Lindsey Graham, who's now, sucking up to him, Marjorie Taylor Greene stood strong beside Trump the whole time. And then he turned on her too. He's turned on Thomas Massie. He's turned on Rand Paul. He's turned on all of these guys. And at that point, that's when my spiritual discernment really kicked in. He's protecting pedophiles. And I can forgive a lot of things, and I forgive Trump for everything he's done. We're instructed to forgive, but and I can forget a lot of stuff. I need to phrase it like that because I forgive everybody, but I don't forget things. And there's a certain thing I don't forget, and that's pedophilia. I have no tolerance for pedophilia. I have no tolerance for pedophiles. We've got a huge pedophilia problem. We've got a pedophile problem in our government. We've got a pedophile problem in the church, and nobody wants to talk about it. And it's a very hush hush thing. Right here in my community, I stood against a teacher, Joe Dalton, who had over 80 allegations thrown his way. His personnel file was 110 pages long of allegations against him. And I've actually got his personnel file, so I know all of this stuff. I stood against him, and I took a beating for that too from some folks. So I stand against pedophilia of all kinds. But for those of you who are on here or who are on threads, and y'all are saying, "Well, you're a little bit too late," whatever. Listen, I don't disagree with any of you. I really don't. And a lot of yous on here saying, "Oh, he's grifting." Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that don't know me, let me introduce myself. My name is Pastor Bristol Smith, and I have made $0 off the ministry in the 6 years that I've been preaching. I don't make money. I don't have a salary. I work a full-time 40-hour week job. I don't need money from the church. I don't need it. I don't believe in it, and I will never make money off of the church. Now, I've got side businesses and things of that nature. I've got books on Amazon and things of that nature. But as far as making a salary from God, you'll never see me do that. I don't believe in it. So for those of you that's commenting and saying, "Oh, he's grifting off of the church and he's grifting off the MAGA movement," ladies and gentlemen, I've made $0 off the MAGA movement. Okay, so that has nothing to do with any of that. So at the end of the day, folks, I messed up, and here's what I believe in. I believe in accountability, and I raise my hand strong and say I should have never voted for God, and that's just the reality of it. Um, I believe in a I believe and you can ask my wife who just walked in. I believe in accountability. I always have. And those of you who's commenting saying, "Oh, well, you're late to the party. You're late to the party." Yeah, you're absolutely right. I should have never voted for him in 2016. Should have never voted for him in 2020, and I dang sure shouldn't have voted for him in 2024. That is my fault. That's my bad. And I should have never told anybody to vote for him. Once again, all I can do from here, ladies and gentlemen, is pave a new way forward. Ephesians 5:11, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather we prove them. We have a lot of reproving to do. We have a lot of exposing to do. And it's going to start with people waking up. I see a lot of people waking up all across this beautiful country. It ain't just me. It ain't just me that's waking up to what Donald Trump is and what the Republican Party is. It's folks, and let me make this straight too, because this is something else that's going around. Well, he ain't a Republican anymore, so he's joining the Democrats. Folks, I will never be a Democrat. Their values don't line up with mine. Republicans don't line up with my values. I am a member of the Constitution Party. It's a third party. That's who I'm a member of. I don't vote the two-party system. I just don't do it. And if there's nobody from the third party, from Constitution Party running, then I don't vote at all. So that's the way I roll. I'm not going to go and vote Democrat, and I'm not going to vote Republican. Here's what everybody needs to understand. Democrats and Republicans are both guilty of this crime. Both parties was at that island. Both parties were involved in the rape and the molestation of these children. It wasn't just Republicans. It wasn't just Democrats. It wasn't just Bill Clinton. Folks, we had all of our politicians on that island. It ain't just, a lot of you, I think, are getting really confused on this. This ain't just a Republican issue. This ain't a Democrat issue. This is a moral issue. Both parties are guilty of this. Donald Trump was on that island, and guess who else was on that island? Bill Clinton himself. He was on that island too. Bill Gates, a big time Democrat, he was on that island too. So this ain't just a this ain't just a party thing. I say it all the time. This ain't about politics. This goes way deeper than politics. This is about the abuse of children all across this nation. This has nothing to do with anything else other than that. So, and this is what they want to do. They want to turn us against each other so they stay in power. If they can divide us, they can stay in power. And Donald Trump has been the great divider since he came down that escalator. I never seen it that way. But he has divided this country into a shape where we can't even come together and speak to each other about these things. Listen, there's going to be things about me you guys disagree with, and there's going to be things about you guys that I disagree with. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that we can't love one another. Okay? I don't believe in abortion, but guess what? We've housed people in this church when they were homeless that's had abortions. I don't believe in homosexuality, but guess what? We've actually housed homeless people here that were homosexuals when they were homeless. We helped them. We gave them food, gave them shelter, gave them water. So this once again, this is not about. Once again, I don't hate people. We live in a country today where if you disagree with something, oh, you hate them. Listen, folks, I'm friends with gay people. I'm friends with people who's had abortions, but they know where I stand on these issues because, once again, I go with the Bible. I believe what the Bible says. Some of you, you believe the Bible a different way. That's fine. That's between you and God. That's between you and Abba the Father. But as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord, and I know what the Bible says, and we're going to stand on that. But I still love everybody the same. Doesn't matter if we disagree or agree on politics. Um, we live once again. Here's where I really have an issue, and I'm going to end this video here in just a second. But I wanted to get on here and just really just say my piece because, like I said, it's blowing up on threads. So I want to answer and address just a few things. Number one, just like I said earlier, I'll never be a Democrat. So for those of you who thinks that I'm coming to your side, it's not happening. I'm in the Constitution Party. I'm not a Republican or Democrat. Number two, just because I don't believe in abortion, just because I don't believe in homosexuality, just because I don't believe in these things, does not mean that I hate them. I love everybody. I love everybody, but I still have a biblical duty and responsibility to preach what the Bible says. Number three, if they divide us, they can conquer us. There's a reason why we are the United States of America. We're supposed to be united. Even though we disagree, there's a lot of you that's going to disagree with my views, and I'm going to disagree with yours. But at the end of the day, we're the United States of a freaking America. We're supposed to be able to come together and stand against evil. Even though we disagree on things, but there's one thing that I don't think anybody could disagree on. There is nothing more innocent than children. And when you put your hands on a child, you are a low grade scumbag. And I think everybody can agree with that. So we need to come together. Stop throwing stones at each other. Stop throwing stones at me saying I came to the party late. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I did. I should have seen this stuff back in 2016. My spiritual discernment did not work. I wasn't using spiritual discernment, and I should have never voted for the guy. I own my mistake. But here's what we're doing. While we are attacking each other, Trump and his cronies in the White House is getting away with all of this. So we need to quit throwing stones at each other. We need to come together as the United States of America and show Donald Trump that we ain't doing this. I'm calling on the Republican Party. I want this to go viral. I am calling on the Republican Party. If you want your voters back, if you want to win again, it is time to come together and impeach Donald Trump. Period. There's only one way out of this, folks, and it's getting rid of this abominable administration. Vote him out, vote J.D. Vance out, vote all of these cronies out of office. And let somebody else who's got some courage, who's got some passion, who's got some compassion, run this country. And it's time to vote for third party. Stop voting for the two-party system. It's two heads on the same snake. That's what a lot of people need to realize. There's no difference between Republican and Democrat. That's why when Democrats are in office, nothing gets done, and when Republicans are in office, nothing gets done. They're not working for you. They're working for themselves. Nancy Pelosi is about to retire from Congress, one of the richest people in Congress. Why? Because of insider trading and everything else. And guess what, folks? Donald Trump is doing the same thing. All of these Congress people, they're all doing the same thing. Republican, Democrat, it don't matter. They're all doing it. So I'm going to leave you with this. If you hate me, I love you. If you love me, I love you. But at the end of the day, here's what you need to understand about me. I'm going to speak the truth, and I'm going to stand against evil. I should have never voted for him. That's my mistake. And all I can do from this point forward is help everybody else wake up. That's what my whole ministry has been about. 5 years that I've been preaching is getting people to wake up. One of my biggest accomplishments, and I'll leave you with this, is I'm finally starting to wake my family up to who Donald Trump really is. It's taking some time, but I'm getting them to wake up. I'm getting the church to wake up to what's really going on. Listen, guys, I love each and every one of you. I thank you so much for your support. Once again, we're the United States of America. When we stand united, there's nothing that can stop us. When we stand divided, they're going to conquer. Right now, we're being conquered. Let's stop throwing stones. Let's come together and let's show these politicians and these scumbags in Washington who we really are as a nation. And I'm not talking about violence. I'm talking about let's go to the polls. Let's start running third party candidates and let's vote these people out. It's time. I love each and every one of you guys. I will see you very soon. We're going to get Outspoken started back up here in the next couple of weeks. Just be prepared for that. I'm going to be releasing some details about that here very soon. I'm ready for Outspoken to be back. We took a hiatus when my wife was giving birth. We made one episode, then I got the flu, and then we've had to cancel ever since then. But with everything going on, I'm ready to be back in the saddle. So be ready. Here in the next couple of weeks, we'll be making the announcements of the date and the time. But I love each and every one of you guys. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming from me. I'm just getting started.